Some moisture.
Last evening at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, it was downgraded to a tropical storm, and we are happy to say that this morning, as of the 5 o'clock advisory, Pauline has been downgraded to a tropical depression. Its low-level center has been centered at 19.3 degrees north, 102.7 degrees west. It's about 120 miles east of Manzanillo, Mexico, with winds of 35 miles an hour, and it's moving to the dissipate over the next 24 hours, again, as it continues to move northwest. But it looks as though we're starting to see one last gasp with this particular system, as we are seeing some flare-up. Of course, later today, we'll begin to see visible pictures and get a better idea of where the center of circulation is. Of course, we'll keep you posted on Tropical Depression Pauline.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
Now, I know...
place on Earth has better weather?
Well, time for a look at the tropics, and we can tell you today we do not any longer have a hurricane on the boards. So you're looking here at Mexico, and you can see we did have this huge blow-up of clouds yesterday that showed you exactly where Hurricane Pauline was, and it just really completely dissipated fairly quickly during the overnight hours, but not before dumping more than 15 inches of rain, 15, 16, 17 inches of rain. The worst of the flooding and some of the disaster problems has really been right around Acapulco, which is in this general vicinity, and it could be that we have still some rain in the area today. Probably not the torrential downpours that they had yesterday. We'll continue to show you some of the video and update you on the latest information out of Acapulco through the next day or two as information comes in. But in the meantime, Pauline is gone. But there may be something else on the horizon. You see this little blow up here. This is, well, remnants of Olaf, I guess we'd call it now. Looks a little impressive, doesn't it? Perhaps the center of circulation is kind of on the east end of where the bright clouds are, so it may not be real well organized yet, but it's not even a tropical depression. You know, if this reforms, and the Hurricane Center thinks that that's possible, it could be a tropical depression again later today. This would be the third go-around for Olaf, so certainly one to watch. Doesn't seem like it's prepared to go away quite yet. Again, still some rain in this area where we've had flooding, really from Acapulco all the way up to Puerto Vallarta, and we'll keep you up to date on that. Into the Atlantic, it's been much quieter here this season, and the peak of the season was on September 10th. We're headed down, but we're about at that secondary peak in mid-October, so it's not time to write off the tropics just yet. From October 11th through the 20th, these are the points of origin of tropical storms and hurricanes over the last 110 years. And as you can tell, the Western Caribbean seems to be the hot spot. So we'll certainly watch that closely.
And other towns on Mexico's Pacific coast as remnants of Hurricane Pauline continue to batter the area. Good afternoon and welcome to WeatherScope. I'm Janetta Jones.
Numbers Johnson, stateside heavy rains are causing serious flooding in areas of Texas. But first, let's take a look at the situation in Mexico. Remnants of Pauline continue to dump torrents of rain on western Mexico, spawning deadly flooding and mudslides. At least 118 people have reportedly been killed and dozens others are missing. Heavy rains have turned streets in the resort town of Acapulco into roaring rivers of debris. Hundreds of cars have been swept away and trees and telephone poles have been uprooted. Nasty situation across Mexico. And what do we see now? Not much, actually. What is left of the hurricane is just split up with cloudiness all over Mexico. What we actually have is, if you look way down here, that's Olaf. Remember old Olaf spinning around, actually heading off to the east? There's a cluster of heavy thunderstorms just off to the west. It's being sheared some, but very interesting to see Olaf still around. So as we take a look at our infrared imagery, measuring the temperatures of the cloud tops, helping us out here so we can estimate where the heaviest of the rain is located. That's all offshore, and actually the deep reds, I don't know if you can see that on your TV set, but deep reds there with Olaf actually. So Pauline, all the moisture mostly offshore, but still some localized heavy showers, and there's going to be a long time as the cleanup operations continue. With more about flooding rain in Texas now, here's Janetta.
Residents in southeastern Texas are facing a serious problem. Heavy rains have caused flash flooding. One of the hardest hit places is Corpus Christi. More than 13 inches of rain has fallen in that region since Tuesday. Some roadways look more like rivers with waters 3 feet deep. Water is up to the windows of some cars. The region got a break from the rain overnight, but the wet weather has now returned. And as we check out the flash flood watches, they are extensive and they do include much of southeastern Texas. So everywhere we have the darker green shading, that's where the flash flood watches are in effect. We also have flash flood warnings in effect, and I want to remind everyone that we also have coastal flood watches and warnings in effect all along the Texas coast from Port Arthur down towards Brownsville. So that is going to be in effect through the day today. Obviously not a really great day to be out and about. What's happening is we have an upper low that's sort of sitting here and churning. It's not tropical in nature, but what it's doing is it's enhancing some of that rainfall that continues to move on in. We have the high across the southeast coast pumping in the moisture off of the Gulf of Mexico, so the onshore flow coupled with that upper level low is providing us with a tremendous amount of rain. Just not a good scenario for folks in Corpus Christi, and eventually we expect the rain to be increasing from San Antonio to Austin. San Angelo will see an increase in rain, so will Abilene and Dallas and Fort Worth, much like you saw yesterday right around rush hour. Yeah, the rain's picked up. We even saw some flash flooding. That could occur again today, so we'll keep a very close watch on that for you. 83 degrees right now in the Big D, but only about 72 with the clouds and the rain in San Antonio and Brownsville for that matter. It's warming up in Birmingham, Alabama. Wow, close to 90. Well, at least upper 80s. 86 in Panama City, warm and kind of muggy with high pressure in control here across the southeast. Will the front make it all the way through the southeast? No, don't think so. High pressure is in firm control, and it's not going to allow that front to move any farther to the south. It will, however, move through the northeast, and we're going to see a really nice day shaping up for folks in New York City tomorrow, as well as Philly and D.C. A little bit cooler since the front will move on out. A beautiful fall-like day if you want to check out the scenes and the sights in places like the Poconos or maybe even the Berkshires or the Catskills. 61 in Erie right now. Obviously, the front has already moved through Detroit. High pressure is in control. It's a beautiful day, much nicer than it was yesterday at this time when you were looking at the scattered rain showers. Well, that's the way things are shaping up across the east. Of course, the big trouble spot here in southeastern Texas. Now, Rich has a look at the rest of the country.
We have rain and snow showers. Those are in the order of the day for much of the northwest, even as far south as California coast. Although, looking to the north, the snow is plentiful in the Cascades of northern Washington. And we are looking at Stevens Pass, where snow showers are expected to continue through tomorrow with more than additional 3, maybe up to 6 inches. And oh, doesn't that look like fun? Hey, the traveler's not having that rough of a problem either traveling over the passes with pavements either dry now or just wet. Snow falling in the mountains, though. We have snow all the way down to the High Sierra, 50 in Reno, so you have to head up a little ways higher before it's cold enough for the snow, but we do have some snow that will fall in the Sierra today. You can see where the front is, upper 70s and 80s south of the front. Hop over onto the west side and it gets much cooler. 54 in Boise and Spokane, 51 in Seattle. So generally mild tropical air. Almost 80 degrees presently in Denver. Wait till Sunday, it's going to be about 40 degrees colder probably, where temps will be in the 40s at best. As we check out the satellite picture, still sunshine from Phoenix all the way up to around Las Vegas, all the way down to San Diego. Into the Pacific Northwest, we're seeing quite a few clouds break over towards southeastern Washington. Not much in the way of rain today, nothing like yesterday. Some spritzels of rain with mountain snow into Oregon, maybe a couple snow flurries into the Cascades of Washington too. But some of the heavier precip actually farther to the south now into California. Yeah, this is going to be rain up along I-80 heading up across Donner Pass, but the mountains, the higher peaks, it will be snow. Scattered rain showers near San Francisco, and the rain ever so slowly trying to make its way over to Fresno. Eventually it should be in your area shortly, maybe another hour or so. High pressure across the Great Lakes. Nice day today. We have temperatures into the 60s and 50s, actually near 80 in Kansas City with a few clouds around. Sunshine though. Chicago all the way over to Indianapolis, Detroit, Cleveland, all looking great. Well, what about the forecast, and what about snow heading through the Rockies? Janetta's going to tell us all about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Saturday morning with high pressure in control in